Hello and welcome to Eurosport's coverage of the Volvo Tennis Los Angeles ATP Tennis Tournament from the UCLA, the Los Angeles Tennis Center at the University of California, Los Angeles. The site, in fact, where the 1984 Olympic demonstration event was held, where tennis was a demonstration sport, and it later became accepted in the Olympics in '88. My name's Chris Bowers, and here are our two semi-finalists in the first semi-final. Pete Sampras, the world number one, seeded number one, of course, in this tournament. 5 tournaments this year, the latest of which was the men's singles championship at Wimbledon. That's his record in the week so far. Straight sets wins against Andrew Schneider of Canada, Mauricio Haddad of Colombia, and Patrick McEnroe of the United States. Sampras in pretty much invincible form. But he's playing someone who could give him a little bit of trouble. Just waiting for the camera to switch. Here we are, Richard Krajicek from the Netherlands. Age 21, ranked 10th in the world, seeded 4 here. 6 foot 5 inches is 1 meter 96. Sampras is 6 foot 1 is 1 meter 85. Krajicek, a semi-finalist at the French Open. Some doubt about his fitness today, it has to be said. After he pulled out of his doubles with knee complaints, said he's perfectly fit. This is his record so far, just a 1-set drop. That was in the second round against the Australian Jason Stoltenberg. Straight sets wins over Gianluca Pozzi in the first round and Alexander Volkov in the quarterfinals. He almost won it against Stoltenberg. He was 5-2 down in that tie-break before winning it. And then came through very strongly in the final set.
The chair umpire for this match, Dana LaConta from Jackson, Alabama.
Dana LaConta, the umpire, one of the regular umpires, professional umpires on the ATP Tour. As you see, they've met just the once. That was on a surface similar to this, though probably a little faster, at Key Biscayne, the Lynn tournament earlier this year, where Sampras won 6-3, 7-6, and went on to win the tournament, beating Mal Washington in straight sets in the final. A very warm day. There's Dana LaConta. Overcast this morning, but well, it's perhaps going to be warmer than this later in the summer. Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and the US Open still to come. The sun could well be a factor when players are serving at the far end. Anyway, start the match. It's Sampras serving. Krajicek from Rotterdam, now lives in Monte Carlo, along with about 300 other tennis players. Sampras, well, this has been his year so far. Asserted himself at Wimbledon as the justifiable number one in the world. Some doubt up to then as to whether he really deserved that title. I think everyone believed that in the big tournaments Courier was the better player, but after his win over Courier in the final, he's rather dispelled all those doubts and now very worthy number one. Wasn't that a lovely volley? Beautiful service action. Staying back, comes in, look at this. And the volley moved away. You could see it move away off the surface. Sampras staying back. Our American colleagues have been saying that this is in fact one of the slowest hard courts they've come across, if not the slowest hard court this year. Love game for Sampras.
At the conclusion of this match, a semifinal in doubles featuring former UCLA All-Americans Jim Pugh and Brad Pierce against Grant Connell of Canada and Scott Davis from the Southern California area.
This stadium can seat 8,000 spectators.
In the singles divide tonight at 7:30.
And it has the
It will be Michael Chang against Chuck Adams.
distinction of having hosted the '84 Olympic demonstration sport. By no means full. This tournament looked like it was heading for the top 4 seeds, heading into the semis, until last night. Chuck Adams, the local hero from California, beat Michael Stich. Stich getting rather upset at a number of line calls, not so much the line calls, but the jeering from a lot of Chuck Adams fans. Some of them perhaps a little worse for wear from alcohol. But Adams came through that, and he'll play Michael Chang later on this evening, a match you can see on Sunday morning on Eurosport. For now, though, it's Krajicek serving love one, first set. Sampras not happy with that call, or lack of call. Sampras saying, gave me the last one. I assume that's a reference to the 4th point of the first game, where Krajicek didn't object. Krajicek not the most decisive of volleyers, but he's one of the fastest people to the net after his serve, and that can make a substantial difference. It allowed him to play that ball at well above net height. I suspect we're going to see Krajicek playing more backhand volleys across court than down the line. It's a lovely shot, this, but he's not nearly efficient with the backhand volley down the line. It's a more difficult shot, it has to be said, as any club player will tell you. That was a very good second serve, swinging viciously into the Sampras body. Now, this is a graphic that our colleagues on Prime Network enjoy. I've yet to work out what exactly means, but the simple statistics after 2 games is that both players have served 4 points and both players have won 4 points. Yet to have a point against the serve. Krajicek's obviously decided that he has to attack the net at every opportunity, but against Sampras this was not a good approach shot. Quite deep, but heavily floated. Krajicek's backhand slice is not at all bad. So one could say his slice is somewhat to the detriment of his more aggressive backhand, though they are both very much in his armoury. The aggressive backhand missing on that attempted down the line pass. There's the sky over Southern California. The sun is a bit of a problem for Sampras. It's shining right into his eyes when he serves from that end, in particular from the left-hand court. I'd be happy to have the sun in my eyes if I could serve like that. 12 points played, all 12 with serve. Sampras leads 2-1 first set.
This is crazy. I gotta get out of here. But where do I go?
We're looking for a planet with atmosphere. The air is fresh and the water clear. We're humans from Earth. We're humans from Earth. You have nothing else to fear. Nothing was gonna like it here.
Aufschlagen will gelernt sein. Tennisprofis üben es täglich. Wir wissen, wer am besten serviert. Sportbild, Europas größte Sportzeitschrift.
Krajicek 1-2, second set. If I said second set, I didn't mean second set, I meant first set. It's a beautiful backhand from Sampras. Now that's how you play a topspin backhand. Plays it so well that he can play it even off his chest. First ace of the match. Well, it was a late call, and Donna Leconto, I think, was quite right to overrule that. Another good second serve from Krajicek. He's serving and volleying after every one, first and second serve. That takes away the element of surprise. I mean, Sampras can work on it, but so far Krajicek has served very well. Well, this championship has been going a lot longer than the champions you see here. There's some pretty good names there. Jimmy Connors has won this tournament 4 times. He won the first one in 73, and then again in 74, 82 and 84. Arthur Ashe won it in 78, John McEnroe twice, 81 and 86. Stefan Edberg won it in 1990 after losing 3 finals, 85, 86 and 87. And these two players are past winners. Sampras in 91, Krajicek in 92. This is the 21st staging of this tournament. It did go indoors for a few years onto a carpet surface. Back on out to a hard course where it originally started. Well, so far, both players have won just 1 point off the opponent's serve. Sampras with 2 points for a 3-2 lead. Now it's going out. Well, for a slow course, the serve's being remarkably dominant. 3-2 to Sampras, first set.
Eurosport and sweat-resistant UV Sport from Umbre Solaire, the sun protection that won't run off, present the Great Summer Eurosport Quiz. Win a magnificent Peugeot 306 XT with a sliding sunroof and superb watches. To take part in our great quiz and win this marvellous car, ring the following number. Eurosport and sweat-resistant UV Sport from Umbre Solaire wish you good luck.
Krajicek serving 2-3, first set. Krajicek was beaten then. First double of the match. This is where Krajicek's 1m96 really does help him, but that was not a confident first volley. If he prefers to go cross court, it's got to be crisper than that. It's got to go closer to the line, or deeper, or ideally both. But that was a very good reflex volley, making the most of his height. Krajicek having a quick look. There's the line judge who survived that. Dangerous position to be in with these servers. Krajicek did well to get to that forehand volley, but that was always going to be pretty much a sitter for Sampras. This is a big point. Moment of slight danger for Krajicek. And there he did throw the backhand volley down the line, and it was very effective. You probably overheard Tim Mayotte there. He's commentating for Prime Network. I love LA, he said. I think that was about Richard Krajicek's record. We're probably putting words into Krajicek's mouth. Came here last year, won the tournament. Winning all 5 matches, has won 3 this year. Well, a slight opportunity missed for Sampras. Well, that won't worry him unduly. Three all first set. Krajicek deciding, I suspect, before that ball was hit, or as it was hit, that he was going to go for the forehand. Has to be on his way into the net, chipping and charging, or charging the first serve, I don't know about chipping. Just one casual error from Sampras, and it puts him in a bit of difficulty. Love 30. And he's serving with the sun in his eyes. Yes, Krajicek made himself vulnerable the moment he went down the line and left the forehand side open, because Sampras' cross-court forehand is a great weapon. Look at that first serve percentage. Quite low on Krajicek's part, but when he's got his first serve in, he's won the point. Every time. Well, there's a slightly mishit return of serve, but I suspect there's a bit of optical illusion there. Deceived Sampras. I suspect he thought it was going out or not. I don't know what he thought it was going. He played it quite late, and the whole court open. 2 break points for Krajicek. That's the sun again. You could see by the way Sampras put his hand up to his eyes the moment he decided not to hit that ball. That serves me right for denigrating Krajicek's aggressively hit backhand. That was a beautiful shot. Sampras having difficulty. I'm surprised he's not wearing a cap. He has worn a cap on past occasions. I remember him wearing one at the New South Wales Open in Sydney earlier this year. Tournament he won. He wore one at the Australian Open as well. That's going out. And there's the break. Sampras saving 2 break points. Krajicek gets his nose in front with the break. Krajicek has a good record against the top 10 players. Up to this year it was 9-7. I haven't worked it out for this year, but he's done pretty well. His best year was last year. This year he's been a bit mixed, though he's got his first single-figure ranking. He had a very good end of season at the end of last year, winning the Antwerp tournament, beat Jim Courier there, and finished the year 10th in the world. And because 2 players dropped out through injury, he got himself into the ATP finals, which is reserved for the top 8 players, or the top 8 available players. Krajicek won his first title in Hong Kong in '91. His second was here last year, followed by Antwerp, and he's got the 3. He has this injury-hit career. He pulled out of the first Grand Slam semi-final he got to. That was the Australian Open in 1992, and he's been bothered by knee problems this week, a bit of tendonitis in the knee. He says he's okay, but he's been on treatment all week, and it could be the change from grass to hard. This is probably the most contrasting change. Grass is probably the softest of the surfaces they play on the circuit, and this is probably the hardest. It's hard by most hard court standards. But injury or not, Krajicek leading 4-3 with the break. Turn of serve right at Krajicek's feet, meant that Krajicek could do a little with it, and that's meat and drink to Sampras. Helicopter goes overhead. Another low volley from Krajicek, but much better. Got a bit of width on it and kept it low. I find that very elegant tennis shirts, but whether playing in black shorts in bright sunshine is such a good idea. White does reflect the heat, keeps players a bit cooler than black, which tends to attract it. Fully explains why white has stayed the main colour of tennis for so long. Well, it looked a very close decision, but Sampras didn't query it. Two points for a 5-3 lead. Another very good second serve from Krajicek. That's the second semi-final, which takes place at 7:30 Californian time. You can see at lunchtime on Sunday on Eurosport. Sampras serving to save the first set. His first ace. Enjoy this service action. Well, switching camera angles, that's made it a bit difficult. It is a beautifully smooth service action. He and his coach Pete Fisher, when Sampras was about 14, used to work in particular on the throw-up, on the toss, so that players couldn't see which way the ball was going to go. That doesn't explain why it's elegant, but it explains why it's effective. Well, he charged a serve on the forehand earlier in the set. It was the first point of the game he broke. This is a second serve on the backhand. Beautiful shot when it works. No margin for error. Good convincing game with Sampras. But it'll be Krajicek serving for the first set in just a minute.
Miete, Strom, Autoversicherung?
Oh, auf die falsche gesetzt? Tja, so schnell kommen Sie da nicht raus.
Wählen Sie jetzt 040 411 412 und Sie können bis zum 30.09. Ihre Autoversicherung wechseln.
Quelle Versicherungen. Was kann ich
Bei
versichern?
Quelle treffen sich die unfallfreien Fahrer. Deshalb ist Quelle besonders günstig und Testsieger im Kapitallangzeitvergleich. Rufen Sie also jetzt an. Sie erhalten dann unverbindliche Informationen direkt per Post.
Und Sie können in aller Ruhe zu Hause vergleichen.
Ich kann also bis zum 30.09. wechseln. Da spare ich ja die halbe Miete.
Rufen Sie jetzt an.
Krajicek serving 5-4 for the first set. Ball hit our microphone. Do you think the name Krajicek doesn't sound that Dutch? It's because his parents were Czech immigrants. He, though, born in Rotterdam. Krajicek does in fact speak Czech. Speaks with his father most of the time. His experiences of Rotterdam this year will not have been too pleasant. Lost in the first round in straight sets to Goran Pripyc and was booed off court in the tournament there in February. Now though, Rotterdam must seem a long way away because he stands at 3 set points to take the first set off the world number 1. That fact may well be about to be obliterated. Yes, it's good. A bit tentative, a bit unconvincing, but it did the job. And Krajicek takes the first set in 34 minutes. Landed just inside the baseline. This was the volley. And a very relaxed Krajicek. Sampras starts the second set. Well, Sampras undaunted by losing the first set. This has been a very impressive service game. Made the court look quite fast, but that was just the speed of his serving and the effectiveness of his volleys. Sampras, a set down, takes the first game of the second set.
Since 1978, the European community has been striving to make the places we work in less polluted. Europe, let's make it a better place to work. For more details on health and safety in the workplace, call this number.
Krajicek, love 1, second set. That means that he's only lost 2 matches after winning the first. And look at this backhand from Sampras. And most of that was footwork. It was being able to jump and to settle with feet absolutely in the right place. Shoulder right round, beautiful stroke. I know it used to get on Jim Courier's nerves when he was world number 1 that people were saying he's not a particularly elegant player. I asked him once whether his game wasn't very much based on maximum amount of energy use. He said, well, yes, but it's effective. And I don't think he particularly liked questions like that, but it is wonderful, no disrespect to Courier, to have a world number 1 who's such an elegant player, such a smooth operator in terms of the way he plays his shots. Seems so effortless at times. I hope we'll see it again, because that was very, very good play by Sampras. Yes, and we're going to see it from his ankle, which is even better, because look, He delays his forehand to the very last minute. He held back fractionally to wait and see which way Krajicek committed himself. I'm not sure if Krajicek did commit himself, which is why the forehand down the forehand side of Krajicek was so effective. Love 130 all. Sampras unlucky. He had Krajicek beaten, but the net beat him. Well, the success of Krajicek's game so far has been his second serve, no question about that. He's played a very good game all round, but his serve's been threatened once or twice, but the second serve's been good. Here we are. You see, his first serve percentage in that first set was less than 50%, and Sampras was over 60. Krajicek wouldn't normally be pleased with that, yet the way his second serve's been going in, it's rather washed out the difference. If you've come into your club game today and you play one of those, take heart. The world number one to someone too. He normally blocks that kind of volley. He swung at it. Very tempting. And that's where Sampras is a bit too laid back. Now this was a shot, look at that. He played a far too casual volley and Krajicek was easily up to it, and from then on he was in control of the rally. And they put Sampras back in a spot of bother, 30 all. Krajicek played that point very well, but Sampras was just in control. Great serve. I suspect Sampras didn't expect to have to play that volley. Just picked himself up in time. "44 minutes played." And Sampras moving forward to that volley makes such a difference.
With the legendary Don Budd to win 2 U.S. doubles titles.
This tournament has $300,000 resting on it. The winner takes $39,600. The runner-up, $23,330. A 32 draw, which means the winner plays 5 matches. Well, the finalist plays 5 matches as well. And the tournament director here is Bob Kramer, the son of Jack Kramer, one of the all-time great names in men's tennis, who is in fact sitting around this court now, wearing a very elegant white Panama hat. out of the picture. Jack Kramer, Wimbledon champion in 47, I think. And in last year's final, Richard Krajicek beat Mark Woodford in 3 sets. So Krajicek serving, 1-2, second set, having taken the first. Yes, just to confirm, Jack Kramer did win Wimbledon in 1947. No, it's out. Top 10. Top 5 are likely to stay the same for a while. Stich is probably going to stay at 6 despite losing yesterday. Lendl, maybe Korda might move up in the next week or so. There's the backhand volley from Krajicek across court, but Sampras read it that time. He was moving for it even after he played that return of serve. He anticipated it from the moment the return left his rally. Oh, left his racket. That was another good serve from Krajicek, but what a return from Sampras. Beautifully chopped return, dipping the whole time. Yeah, you don't appreciate the value of that Sampras shot from that replay, I'm afraid. So these are the first break points on the Krajicek serve. Two break points. Krajicek shakes his head, 3 backhand errors. 2 of them were somewhat induced. The third one, well, Krajicek shouldn't be surprised at the ball dropping low over the net. Sampras is playing that shot all the time off the return of serve because Krajicek's coming in off it every serve. Let's percentage breakdown. He now is serving from the sunny side, the far end. Ace number 2 for Pete Sampras. Sampras coming in after that one. I don't know if Krajicek saw him. I suspect if he had done, he'd have played a sliced return low at Sampras' feet. So a point for 4-1 for the world number one. With his third ace, 4-1, second set.
You like the hits of the 60s? Then you're gonna love this. The 60s, an amazing collection that includes 8 CDs or cassettes. Just look at all these hits. Remember this one? You cannot get the 60s from any store, so stand by to take note of how to order. The 60s includes a staggering 200 hits by your favorite artists. Remember the Crying Game, My Guy, Then He Kissed Me. The hits go on, and don't forget the twist. Have fun with the 60s. 200 hits on 8 CDs or cassettes. To order your complete set, call now. The 60s. Amazing value. A complete 60s library in just one purchase.
Goes out of the hole now. Look at this beautiful service action. I keep going on about it, but it is so efficient. Krajicek 1-4. They now both serve 3 aces. Sampras is worried not about the string, but about his grip. Amazing statistic, about 100% for Krajicek. Every first serve he got in the first set, he won the point. Well, I think Sampras acted the best way. He clearly thought that ball was out, but unless the overrule is instant, it cannot happen. There's no mark to check on a hard court. And Krajicek needs a new racket. Sampras 4-2, second set. Well, that's the kind of thing that Jimmy Connors used to do to get the crowd excited at Flushing Meadow, and my goodness, it worked. Remember how he destroyed Ivan Lendl in a couple of finals? One which he seemed like losing, had to go off for a break when he was suffering from some stomach problem. And then he got the crowd so much on his side that Lendl just died. Sampras could do more of that, especially in America. His first double. It's also be pleasing for him to know that he can excite the crowd with a delicate classic volley. He had to struggle for that one, but played it beautifully. And here, look at that. No pace on it at all. Backspun. And with his fourth ace, he takes a 5-2 lead.
Here's the answer to that tennis trivia question.
He's still a little unhappy about...
Had more singles and doubles titles than any other in the men's game. Well, it happens that the answer is John McEnroe. 77 singles and 77 doubles. John McEnroe. And our three winners, Brian Newell.
Just broke the flow, because I know how some people love quiz questions. That was an interesting one. Who's won the most tournaments, singles and doubles? The answer being John McEnroe. In the men's game, his total of 154 doesn't match Martina Navratilovan's total of 165 singles titles. So it's Krajicek serving 2-5 to save the second set. Even if he loses his set, his confidence a lot of good if he can at least hold this service game, because it'll mean that both players will have lost just one serve going into the final set. And Krajicek has generally served very well. I was just working out that 100% in the first set. He only served 24 points, so the 100% meant that he served 11 first serves and won them all. So perhaps not quite as dramatic as it would have been had it been into the 20s or something like that, but still impressive. The voices you may occasionally hear are from our American colleagues Mary McKay and Tim Mayotte of Prime Network. When they get excited, our mics tend to pick it up. Gentle shake of the head from Sampras. Well, I understand that. I suspect if it had been called out, it would not have been totally unreasonable. So, Pete Sampras serving 5-3. Take this match into a final set. Well, if in doubt, you take, but I just wonder whether that return of serve from Krajicek was going out. Krajicek's a good... Sampras is a good judge of distance, but that was, as you saw then, a hit-through backhand, a rolled backhand. Oh no, this is dodgy for Sampras. They really are tracking each other races. 5 each now. And 1 double fault each. Sampras suddenly opening up. There you see the confidence. Here's a man who's #1 in the world, has just won Wimbledon. When he's in difficulty, he just hits out. And so from love 30 to 40-30, and Pete Sampras with a point to level the match at 1 set all. Still a bit worried about the sun. Good net coverage by Sampras. And as the match goes just over the hour mark, Pete Sampras levels at 1 set all.
Immer? Nicht immer, aber immer öfter. Weil es alkoholfrei ist? Nein, weil es ein Bier ist. Klaus Thaler. Alles, was ein Bier braucht.
Krajicek then to start the final set. Krajicek holding his last service game also gives him the advantage of serving first in this final set. And it'll be a considerable boost to him to hold this first service game if he can do so. That's a nice volley. very nice volley from Krajicek. Those are genuine helicopters and not sound effects, designed to get the players accustomed to the acoustics at the US Open. Flushing Meadow is right under the flight path of LaGuardia Airport, and is not the quietest spot on this planet. Krajicek got to the final of the tournament, the Eagle tournament in Stuttgart earlier this year, lost to Michael Stich. Wonderful 5-set match, 7-5 in the 5th, Stich won. And then he went to Rotterdam, where he lost in the first round 6-4, 6-4 to Goran Prpic. He was a quarter-finalist in Key Biscayne, where he lost to Pete Sampras. He was also a quarter-finalist in Barcelona and Rosmalen, and a semi-finalist in Paris. That was his second Grand Slam semi-final, but only the first one he contested after having to pull out of the 1992 Australian Open because of injury. He lost to Jim Courier in 4 sets in the semi-final. Member of the Netherlands Davis Cup team, which lost to Sweden in the quarter-finals last month. And he shares something with Pete Sampras. They both switched in their mid-teens from a two-handed backhand to a one-handed backhand. And at that point in both their respective junior careers, they took off. This makes you wonder how many other one-handed backhands are waiting to be discovered and are hidden behind the two-hander that is often coached in youngsters to get them playing at an age where they haven't got the power, the physical power to play a two-hander. That may certainly be the case among a lot of girls. That's speculation. Sampras serving love 1, final set. Krajicek's got such good slice. I'm surprised he doesn't use it a bit more on the return of serve, especially as Sampras is now coming more into the net. He could use it to drop the ball more at Sampras's feet. Well, this final set starting off very much the way the first set went, with the serve dominating totally. Apparently one of the slowest hard courts on the hard court circuit. I have that on the authority of our American colleagues. Krajicek 1-all. Well, he got away with it, did the Dutchman, but that was not a good backhand volley. It was at least low, but it was almost back to where Sampras was. First point against the serve in this final set. After a run of 13 points, in fact, if you count the end of the second set. Sampras reeled off the last 4 on serve. Krajicek wisely taking his time. 1-all, 15-all, final set. I wonder if he's taking his time to think about his tactics. Has he stayed back for the first time then? Just wonder also whether there might be a slight bit of fatigue in his legs. Maybe a mild bit of cramp, or maybe his knee problems. Pure speculation. Now that was a very tired second serve, and I just wonder whether Krajicek's got a problem. I think he may have called for the trainer. Yeah, he's just asked for the trainer. He's been having knee treatment all week. Now, yeah, that was the movement on that last serve. Hardly moved at all. I don't see Krajicek getting through to the end of this match. To set all, 1-all and 30-all, couldn't be closer on paper, but I really think Krajicek's going to struggle to hold his serve now. Well, that's his 7th ace, but I'm just beginning to wonder whether that's his last chance. Maybe he's going to go for another one now. 7 aces. Will he go for an ace on the second serve? Oh, it's a bad error from Sampras. He must be aware of what's happening. Well, now Krajicek is sitting down almost as if he's dead. Now he's asked for the trainer. Now then, Bill Norris, the ATP trainer, should be around. I don't know where he is. Normally they take a couple of games to come out. Apparently Krajicek had to have his knees iced in the locker room before the match. Krajicek had to pull out of his doubles yesterday. Said he was okay about his knees. That's just to let you know about the second semi-final, which you can see at 12 o'clock Central European Summer Time on Sunday lunchtime, 11 o'clock British Summer Time. And the championship match is Americanese for the final, which you can see at 1300 on Monday lunchtime or 12 noon British Summer Time, also on Monday. Well, Krajicek is going to have to wait another 2 games before he sees Bill Norris. He's going to be a little bit concerned about that. But he's going to have to play 2 more games now. And we'll have to see how he plays on them. Sampras on 2, final set. Krajicek very unlucky then. It's funny, this is almost getting to Sampras, like he's feeling Krajicek's pain. Can be easy to get put off your concentration. And that was a good shot to play. Anything that makes Krajicek run is going to be useful. The fact that Krajicek ran to that first backhand of this game, there's some hope for him. Yes, an intelligent play from Sampras. Bit of a survival game now for Krajicek, and the injury becomes a factor. Sampras has got to go playing his normal game, but if he can make Krajicek run, then that's obviously in his interest. Well, what odds the break in this next game, Sam? Krajicek's going to have to serve extremely well. He's not without mobility, but I don't think he can sustain a rally of more than about 8 strokes. He seems to be in a lot of pain on that left knee. A set all, 2 all. Ambling into the net. He's just got to keep breaking up the tactics. Do things different maybe every time, keep Sampras guessing. I'm reminded of Michael Chang's win over Ivan Lendl in the 4th round of French Open 1989. Lendl leading 6-4, 6-4. Chang started to get cramp in the 3rd and 4th sets, but still managed to outcycle Lendl and won the match 4-6, 4-6, 6-3, 6-3, 6-3 in 4 hours and 37 minutes. Collapsed with exhaustion in the locker room afterwards. Well, so far the psychological tactics are working. Two more points and Krajicek can see Bill Norris. That time Krajicek staying back. Expecting he will go in behind this point. I don't think he can sustain too many rallies like that. It's his 8th ace. I suspect that count will rise. He's going to have to go for broke on a number of serves, so it wasn't a particularly powerful one. 2 points for 3-2. She's trying to play the winner. Couldn't be closer. Like in the 4th set of the Wimbledon final, a battle for survival, but then it was Sampras who had to survive. Well played. This is only the second game of the match that's gone to deuce. Seventh game of the first set went to deuce. That was the one where Krajicek broke Sampras. And we look to come in after the second serve. Interesting tactics if he does. And this is the first game of the match to go to 2 deuces. Well, that doesn't go down as an ace because it clipped the top of Sampras' racket. His 4th point to take the 5th game. And he holds serve. That's a very brave effort from Krajicek, and now he can see Bill Norris. Krajicek leads 3-2 final set.
Eurosport and sweat-resistant UV Sport from Umbra Solaire, the sun protection that won't run off, present the Great Summer Eurosport Quiz. Win a magnificent Peugeot 306 XT with a sliding sunroof and superb watches. To take part in our great quiz and win this marvellous car, ring the following number. Eurosport and sweat-resistant UV Sport from Umbra Solaire wish you good luck.
Krajicek seems to have survived. Sampras serving 2-3. Final set. That's Bill Norris, the ATP trainer, physiotherapist. Now this is what happened over the changeover. But this happened just on an ordinary 90-second changeover. No injury timeout, which Krajicek is entitled to. He's allowed to 1 3-minute timeout. Well, the idea was right. Here we see a great backhand return of serve. He has the whole court open. Obviously Sampras moving quite well, much better than Krajicek is. Still a bad miss for Krajicek. That was a bad miss for Sampras. Well, Sampras has not been invincible since Krajicek started having his injury problems. Big point, this one. Krajicek has missed so many of those by the smallest margin, and it must take a lot out of him. He could have put that one over. He'd have put tremendous pressure on Sampras. As it is, Sampras has a point to level at 3-all. And that doesn't half put the pressure back on Richard Krajicek, who now has served the 7th game. So Krajicek serving with the new balls and a new racket. Like Lendl, he changes his racket whenever the balls are changed. That was a beautiful serve and volley. You would never think there's anything wrong with him when he plays like that. Absolutely no give in this court. The hard courts at the Australian Open are a lot softer. The designer would not thank me for calling this cement, but it's close to it. A very unyielding surface. Krajicek did very well to pick up that volley. He was lucky that Sampras put this out. But it was a reward for his having got to the volley. Well, I remember thinking in the final of this year's French Open Women's Singles Championship at 2-1 to Fernandez over Graf. I thought it's all over. Graf's going to win this 6-2 because Fernandez was in great pain. But it went a long way and Graf won it 6-4 eventually. Fernandez fought despite considerable pain, just as Krajicek is fighting now. Great game. That's a really great game for Krajicek. A love game and a convincing one, and he can get a bit more treatment from Bill Norris now.
This would be a perfect day to enjoy the ambiance at the Westwood Marquee Hotel and Gardens. At the Westwood Marquee Hotel and Gardens, they have a Mediterranean...
He's allowed a 3-minute injury timeout. I don't think he'll take one though. I think this is all he's going to need. Question is, how long is it going to last him? And is Sampras going to burn out? Somehow Krajicek doesn't look like breaking the Sampras serve, but stranger things have happened. Also, if Krajicek can hold 2 more service games, he at least takes the final set into a tie-break, and anything can happen then. He's already taken Sampras further than anyone's taken Sampras this week. Sampras' fitness isn't always that brilliant, certainly not in the latter stages of big tournaments. I think it tends to get forgotten that when he won the Wimbledon singles this year, he was not at all in good shape in the 4th set. And I, for one, believe that had Courier broken him and taken the match to a 5th set, Courier would have won it fairly easily. That, of course, is totally irrelevant because it's pure speculation. Merely serves to suggest that there is a slight doubt about Sampras' fitness, but it's a doubt on Krajicek's fitness now as Sampras serves 4-3. Sorry, Sampras serves 3-4. Final set. I think we're going to see Krajicek running around a lot of his backhands now. The forehand is a shot that he can win points off. Backhand less so. Sampras' first serve, first ace of the final set, his 6th in all. That's the other semi-final. Michael Chang against Chuck Adams. Adams the victor over Michael Stich late last night in the quarterfinals. Stich getting very annoyed. Didn't attend his post-match press conference. They'll learn him a fine. Krajicek serving 4-all final sets and playing a very, very intelligent game. Felt his way through that volley. Almost an exaggerated follow-through, like on a warm-up shot. Well, this American crowd showing no respect for Krajicek's suffering. I must all be aware of it by now. Krajicek having been treated to successive change of ends. They want their man to win, and good luck to them. Sampras may now live in Tampa in Florida, but he spent much of his childhood in California, grew up here. Born Washington, grew up California, lives Florida, of Greek parents. Well, this is a real test for Sampras. It's a big enough test for Krajicek. But Krajicek's hanging on there. Sampras may be just a little bit frustrated. It's all going with serve, but he's not finding a way through Krajicek at this stage. Krajicek's 9th ace takes him to 5-4. I didn't think it was possible, but he's playing through the pain and playing a wonderful match. Sampras will have to serve to save the match.
Hi, I'm Sebo Ballesteros. Watch the Volvo Tour on Eurosport.
The Volvo Tour. From the Mediterranean Open to the Ryder Cup, the summit of the 1993 season, Eurosport brings you the top tournaments of the European circuit. The best players in action on golf's toughest courses. The Volvo Tour is brought to you on Eurosport by Volvo. American Express, the American Express card. Don't leave home without it. And Heineken World of Golf.
BMW International Open, Sunday at 5 p.m. live on Eurosport.
Pete Sampras serving to save the match. Lovely idea. Both knees are hurting before the match. The left one's the one that's been treated. Sampras has already won one title on a third set tiebreak. That was in Hong Kong early this year. Beat Jim Courier on a third set tiebreak. And who knows? Maybe heading for that now. For now though, Sampras has 3 points to level at 5-all. Well, I don't know how wise it was for Krajicek to run for that one. May give him the confidence to know that he can still run. Let Sampras know that he can still run. But given that he was 40 love down, even had he made that forehand, it wouldn't have done him unlikely to have done him a great deal of good. Though who knows. 5-all, final set. Sampras certainly has not been able to capitalise on any weakness that Krajicek may have. It's difficult to know just how much more difficult it is to play against him. Could be that from Sampras' point of view, Krajicek is playing his best tennis of the match. Great serving and volleying. Well, Krajicek is keeping the pressure on the world number one. Two points to force Sampras to serve to save the match again. Well, Krajicek has lost just 2 points off his last 3 service games.
The official ball in this tournament is the Wilson. Play Wilson, the longest lasting ball in tennis. Distribution plus.
So the centre court, 8,000 capacity. They're by no means full, as you can see from the empty seats. Yes, we've got about 5,000 to 6,000 in here. At the stadium court of the tennis centre of UCLA, site of the 1984 Olympic Games tennis demonstration. Demonstration sport then re-entered the Olympics in 1988 after a gap of 80 years. I think I'm right in saying that a 14-year-old called Steffi Graf won the Olympic demonstration tournament on this centre court. The applause now at the end of the final full change of ends. They may have a change in the middle of the tie-break. Sampras serving for the second time to save the match. 5-6 final set. Well, he's had chances in this final set. On one of them, if he'd made the point, he could have put Sampras' break point down. Sampras' eighth ace. And his second double. Talking earlier about Sampras having won one tournament on a third set tiebreak. Of course, if he wins a third set tiebreak here, it's not the tournament, it's only the semi-final. Now, this is a big point. If you've been following the American season with us on Eurosport, you'll have seen a gradual increase in fervour among the spectators. Newport, they were terribly sedate. Washington, fairly sedate. Here they're getting quite worked up. And they will reach fever pitch at the US Open, which begins on the 30th of August. Well, that's Sampras' third double fault. And Krajicek is a mini break up. They've now both served 9 aces. There's the mini break gone. Wonder what shape Krajicek's knee will be in tomorrow if he has to play a final. Probably be so high from having won this match if he gets to the final. As he won't worry about his knee, but can't think it'll be in too good a shape. I think he's also due to play Cincinnati next week. As is Sampras. Well, they change ends. And Sampras goes to the sunny side. This doesn't sound as pleasant as it may seem at first hearing. Sun moved round a bit, so it's somewhat further behind him, but as Sampras has this slightly over-the-shoulder service action, it means that he'll be looking into it. Just glancing up at the sun there. 2-4 down, final set tiebreak. Oh, what a forehand! Oh, that's a wonderful forehand from Krajicek. That was a great serve from Sampras. Look at that. That's worthy of winning a match. Now, Krajicek has 2 serves. If he can hold them both, he is through to the final with a win over the world number 1. Oh, and I don't think he had to take that volley. I would like to see a replay of that. Let's see if he had to take it. Oh, difficult to tell. I suppose if in doubt, you've got to take it. As Krajicek hits 10 aces, he has 3 match points. The first 2 will be on the Sampras serve. He's won. What a victory for the Dutchman. That is a great victory, a remarkable testimony to his courage and playing through pain. Also, I think Phil Norris can take some credit for that. Helping with the physiotherapy there. Phil Norris returns. I suspect Krajicek will go straight onto the treatment table, but he will be elated at that. A wonderful victory for him. Krajicek wins 6-4, 3-6, 7-6. And he will then play the winner of the match between Chuck Adams and Michael Chang. You can see that tomorrow, Sunday at 12 o'clock Central European Summer Time or 11 o'clock British Summer Time. After this, you can see highlights from Kitzbühel, but from the first semi-final at Los Angeles, this is Chris Bowers saying good night.
Bravo,